The Conference USA Championship game is here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slasher U. I'm your host, Christian Rao, here with my co-host, Steve Feck, and we're going to break down the Conference USA Championship game. North Texas takes on UTSA. The Roadrunners will take on Mean Green. This should be a very good game. Friday night, 7:30 Eastern Time, CBS Sports Network. UTSA is currently an 8.5-point favorite. If you have watched Slasher U, you would know that we have covered UTSA for the majority, if not the entirety, of their season. We are huge on Frank Harris. We believe that Frank Harris should be in the running for the Heisman. Just keeping that out there right now. So right off the bat, we got to go, before we get to your thoughts, Steve, because I know you have plenty of them for this game, got to look at North Texas taking on UTSA. The last time they faced off, this was a very, very good one. UTSA got the win 31-27, and it really came down to the very end. And I mean the very end, the touchdown with 15 seconds left to beat North Texas. This could be one of those games that comes down to the very end again. I think this has the opportunity, and I say this with no bias because we have followed UTSA all season long, but I say this with no bias. I think this has the makings to be the best conference championship game of the weekend, Steve.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because for North Texas really wants to not only avenge, the loss earlier, they want to show, look, we're a football team that you need to be talking about as well. They have an elite defensive front. I think their offensive line is pretty good. I don't know that it matches up necessarily player for player, but certainly given that UTSA has had so many injuries on the offensive line, I think it's a pretty even, in the trenches kind of a battle there. Frank Harris has a bone to pick, no pun intended, with North Texas. Twice North Texas, and I had the privilege of talking with Frank Harris's dad over the weekend, and he gave me lots of tidbits, some that I will save just for myself. But he talked about, Frank Harris has had some injury issues going back to his senior year of high school where he blew out, his ACL, and he comes back, and then he's had his shoulder popped out, and then North Texas re-injured that shoulder. He was forced out again in another game against North Texas. So Frank Harris, he's got some axes to grind here in this match. I think he's extra motivated for this, but you don't need to really have extra motivation when you're Frank Harris. I don't know that I've seen a better leader week in, week out anywhere on the FBS level. The only guy I would compare it to would be Tim DeMore at Fordham at the FCS level. But honestly, I don't think there's a better leader. Are there guys with better numbers and maybe a stronger throwing arm, or they've gained more rushing yards? Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. But as far as being the leader, you put Frank Harris on Ohio State, and they not only put their cleats on Michigan after that first half, they keep Michigan down and they don't come back. There's a difference between a Stroud and a Frank Harris. So give me a Frank Harris all the time.
Yes, absolutely. Looking at the stats of this last game between North Texas and UTSA, this was really the game that we started to see the shift of the offensive mindset of Jeff Traylor and the UTSA offense. The passing almost 100% of the time, if you will, started leaning towards that running game a little bit. They had 495 yards of total offense to only 347 of North Texas. 257 of those yards were rushing. This was the big game by Brady, Harris, and Barnes. This was where you kind of had the three-headed monster, if you will. Now, we're not going to see Brady in this matchup. He is out. It's undisclosed. We will not be seeing him at running back. Barnes will be the number one running back in the Conference USA Championship game, a freshman in the backfield. Sounds like it should be a scary thing, but we haven't had any reason to doubt that this season. He has looked very good behind Harris or side by Harris, depending if you have him in the shotgun. Regardless, and then Frank Harris, just like you said, he's your quarterback. You shouldn't have any worries in the world in this one. 8.5-point favorite. On the North Texas side, they do have a pretty good quarterback in themselves. Is a very good quarterback. Yes. We've seen him throw 31 touchdowns. Now he does throw some interceptions. We've seen him throw 11 interceptions. And let me just lean back to the UTSA side a little bit. The last few weeks for UTSA we have seen that secondary start firing on all cylinders. We've seen some interceptions. We saw our first pick six
Pick
last
six.
week. Could that happen this week? I think it does. I think that this UTSA game against North Texas, the one that we had 31-27 at the beginning of, well, the end of October, October 22nd, if you will, I think that's the closest it gets this year for North Texas. I don't think this is a 4-point game, Steve. I think it comes down to the wire, but it's not this close. I think we're looking at at least a 2-score win by UTSA.
Yeah, and it has to be, because everyone seems to be thinking it's predestined that the American Athletic Conference is going to get that final New Year's Six bowl game. But there's been started as whispers, but now the chorus is getting louder. If UTSA has a signature win here, they could be going to the Cotton Bowl. And since we're talking about that, I just want to. This is a secular show, but me personally, from using my training, I just wanted to say a really quick prayer about this game, because there is a tie-in to my dislike of Penn State here. So just follow me on this prayer. Okay. It might not seem very prayerful, but it is from within my soul that I say this. Dear God, or heavenly power, however you want to phrase it, thank you for blessing us with this wonderful UTSA Roadrunner team this year. It's some of the best football I've watched in my lifetime. And as you know, I'm no Methuselah, but I've had a pretty long lifetime, so I've seen some really good college football. Now, it looks like Penn State is going to be able to lick its wounds enough and get a New Year's Six bowl. And they're going to be going to the Cotton Bowl. It's the odds-on favorite there. And a lot of people are saying, well, the American Athletic winner is going to go there. But I know, higher power, you football gods, you won't let this happen. Remember when I was 12 years old and I asked for that TIAC reel-to-reel for Christmas? I'm 62 now. That's 50 years ago. I still don't have that TIAC reel-to-reel. Please let me have this. Please let me have UTSA and Frank Harris completely embarrass Penn State on national TV. It will be the start of things, wonderful things done through your grace and through your power by letting Penn State get embarrassed in the Cotton Bowl and have UTSA do the number on them. Amen.
And if it doesn't happen, there better be an Amazon package with a reel-to-reel on your doorstep the very next day. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this game of the Conference USA Championship game? UTSA an 8.5-point favorite against North Texas. Can they get the job done? How much do you think they win by if they do? Predict the score in the comments below. And do you think UTSA has a chance at the Cotton Bowl? Let us know. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. And thanks for watching SlasherU.